The injunction granted by the High Court yesterday applied only to the Yorkshire NUM. It didn't include the national union itself, nor did it include individual miners. So it would appear that the Yorkshire NUM's discussions about whether or not to comply with the injunction doesn't make any difference to the picketing anyway. A question I put to Bob Simpson, who lectures in labour law at the London School of Economics, before we heard of the Yorkshire NUM's decision.
In one respect it doesn't, because it's up to each individual miner who goes picketing to take a decision for himself. And the injunction is not directed against the individual pickets, it's only directed against the Yorkshire NUM. So whatever the Yorkshire NUM decide does not necessarily affect the actions which individual pickets will take.
Well, some miners have already said that they'll carry on picketing. Will they then be acting within the law?
If they picket elsewhere than at their own place of work, then they are, in a sense, acting outside the law, and proceedings could be taken against them as individuals, if indeed they could be identified. So to that extent, they are acting outside the law, but the mere fact that they carry on picketing doesn't necessarily mean that the Yorkshire NUM is defying the terms of the injunction.
Well, realistically, is there anything that the Coal Board could do in legal terms to prevent secondary picketing?
Well, if they wanted to prevent it absolutely, they would have to identify each and every picket and take proceedings against them on that basis. As you suggest, that's probably not a realistic option. They've probably gone as far as they can do in real terms in trying to take proceedings against the initiators of the picket, that is to say, the Yorkshire NUM as such.
It does seem to be a huge loophole in the law.
It's not so much a loophole as bringing the law into terms with practicality and reality. You have to remember that before 1982 it wasn't actually possible to take proceedings against a union as such anyway. So you could either had to identify individual pickets or particular ringleaders if you wanted to take proceedings of this sort at all. So the law, in a sense, has progressed very much in the direction of employers' favour since then.
Executive gathering to decide how the union will react to yesterday's High Court injunction banning picketing outside their own area. Many of the executive members were clearly prepared to defy the law.
No, the pickets won't be called off, especially not after last night's fiasco.
Do you think that will harden the attitude, do you?
I'm certain it will. I'm absolutely certain it will.
Do you think that the pickets will be called off today?
No, I don't.
You don't? Do you think that the unfortunate death of this miner will now have hardened attitudes?
I think it will, yeah. Yeah, certainly.
Which way do you expect the vote to go?
As far as I'm concerned, vote will go to carry on picketing.
Can you tell us if you think the flying pickets will be called off at today's meeting?
I don't think so, no. I'll be calling for it to be kept done.
Why is that?
Well, I think that we ought to be asking for every mine in the country to stop work. That's from now.
Well, that meeting is still going on, but within the last half hour, a statement's been issued by the union saying it will continue the normally established trade union practices to win solidarity for our members. That appears to mean that the flying pickets will continue to go into neighbouring coalfields, and the Coal Board have just said they take it to mean just that. So it now seems inevitable the board will be taking the union back to court, possibly this afternoon, but certainly tomorrow. Under the 1980 Employment Act, they can ask for damages of up to £125,000 or seek an unlimited fine for contempt or both. The board's lawyers are also meeting today to consider similar injunctions against other areas of the NUM, following reports that flying pickets from Kent, South Wales and Scotland have also moved into Nottinghamshire and Lancashire. But this may be much more difficult, since it does not seem any other area has made a statement like the Yorkshire one, specifically ordering men to picket. An interesting point about the Yorkshire decision: if the executive did withdraw the statement and then spontaneously the picketing continued, the union wouldn't be breaking the law.